Awesome. Let me go ahead and put this on my Instagram that we're doing this.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and put this on my Instagram that we're doing this.
Yeah, man. What's up, y'all? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? As everyone's coming in, I'm just gonna chill with y'all for a minute. I have a special guest on today, which we'll get into shortly here, but welcome in. Let me know where you are watching from.
Can you guys hear me? Or is there some kind of echo? Sometimes it echoes.
You're good.
Awesome.
You're not echoing on my end. Okay, well, let's get into it. So for those of you who have been following me for a while, you've probably seen me do a interview on his channel. This is Joshua here, and I said, hey, we need to do something on my channel. He's been making moves in this real estate business, newer agent, and we'll get into his experiences so far and stuff like that. But you know, there's a lot of value to be shared. There's a lot of things we can all learn from. He's making some major moves on TikTok, so I want to talk about that too as well. Just all around, good guy, nice to know, and he has a YouTube channel too. So I'll make sure that I'll put that link in the description and stuff like that. But what's up, Josh? How you doing?
That was an amazing introduction. Thank you. I'm doing well, it's been a while since we talked, but things have only gotten better. So
yeah, man. Well, yeah. So let's just hop right into it a little bit. How long you been in the business?
I hit my 1 year anniversary early last month. So
okay, 1 year in the business, and what market are you in?
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah. Nebraska. How is real estate in Nebraska?
In the middle of nowhere. It's still hot. It's just like any other market. It's hot. Maybe slowed down just a little bit, but I like it. It's all right.
Yeah. So since you have been in the business a year now, which is an accomplishment. I'm not going to even do like some people do and say only a year. No, a year is an accomplishment. Coming into the business, however, did you have a thought of, hey, once I get my real estate license, this is how I'm going to build, this is what I'm going to do? Did you have that already in your mind, or were you oblivious to real estate like I was and didn't really know about the business and how you were going to build it? Which side of that?
I'd say I was kind of in the middle.
Okay.
So, like, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, read books before I got into it. So I was like, okay, I've got this. I'm going to hit the ground running. I'm going to be a top producer in like 2 months. But then I learned pretty quick that what I thought that I kind of had laid out wasn't really enough. So like I knew that I wanted to cold call, but I hadn't practiced my scripts enough. So I knew that I wanted to work mainly with for sale by owners, but I didn't really know what to do. So there's a lot of learning. I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was, but I don't think I was oblivious either.
Yeah. So what was kind of the first activity that you started with when you got into business?
That would be probably cold calling. I think I remember calling maybe my first or second week. I hung up on the first call because the guy started talking and I was
you hung up.
Yeah, like if this was my phone, I was like shaking in my hand and I go, nope. Yeah. So calling, I never really tried door knocking or social media that much, but yeah.
So cold calling, and I mean, you've probably heard me talk about cold calling. Y'all know I talk about cold calling. Had you ever cold called before in any other job?
No, all my previous jobs, I worked fast food, I worked retail, I worked construction, like no calling involved. I don't even really like picking up the phone to call people. Before I got into real estate, like I would rather send somebody a text than a call. So no, I was totally new to it.
So what was that mindset then that kept you going with it? kept you consistent? Because, and the reason why I asked that is because the one thing that I feel like separates agents who find success versus those who don't after a year is consistency. You know, I believe if you do something enough, eventually it's going to pay off. But most people stop and give up before they've done it enough. You know,
Yeah.
what was your mindset to keep you moving forward with that?
I think, okay, and I don't want to sound like perfect because there's so many times I was inconsistent. Like my first 2 months, I was a beast on the phones, 3 hours a day for 2 months, and then I'd give up for a little bit, and then I'd get back on it. But it's just kind of keeping in mind that whatever you're doing now, you won't really see the results for like 2 to 3 months. So if you're not seeing the results now, you shouldn't even think of slowing down because you haven't given it enough time. You know what I mean? So that kind of kept me going. And then when I got my first deal, I was like, okay, this actually works. And then I felt like a top producer when I got my first listing, which is kind of ridiculous. But, and then you just go even harder on the phones. So it's just kind of getting past that first deal and then realizing that everything that you do now, you'll see the results 3 months later.
Yeah. So tell us about that experience of getting the first listing.
So this guy should have never listed with me. I had no idea what I was doing. I was so lucky. I think the way it went down, it was a for sale by owner. I set a preview appointment. I go over there. We're talking, we're building rapport. It was going really well. And then he just pretty much says that he's like ready to list. So on the outside, I'm like, okay, cool. On the inside, I'm freaking out because I don't even know the paperwork yet, which I guess I should have learned it at that point, but I didn't know it. So I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go home, run some numbers, and then I'll come back and get the paperwork signed. So as I'm driving home, I'm calling my broker. I'm like, dude, I'm freaking out. What do I do? And he's like, okay, this is what you need to do. Walk him through this. So we get the paperwork signed. The transaction is a total nightmare, which I made a video on my YouTube channel about it, but awful. It closes anyway. It was a great learning experience. I don't think either of us left on bad terms, but it was just all over the place,
Yeah, but it'd be like that sometimes. And
yeah.
Luckily you still took that, even though it may have seemed like, oh, it was a lucky break. And I tell people this all the time. It wasn't a lucky break. It was the result of your consistent action. Those 2 months of going hard,
Yeah.
that was the results of that. Oftentimes we don't know what it's going to look like. We know what we want. We want business. We want to close a deal, but we don't know exactly all those in-between steps that are going to take place to get us to that end point, because that's how the universe and energy starts working. It starts working in our favor. It's just not going to tell you everything that's going to go down to get there. So this was a direct result of your consistent action from those months to make that happen, and I love that you didn't freak out. I mean, even though you did freak out, but you didn't.
I was freaking out.
But you didn't let that stop you, because a lot of people, and they don't want to admit this, but most people out there are scared of someone actually saying yes. We can sit there and get told no left and right and hate it, but then we're also a little bit nervous and scared of someone actually saying yes and wanting to move forward. But I live by that philosophy: learn while you earn. So I may tell you I know how to do it now, but I'm gonna figure it out when it comes time to do it. So you got that first listing, it closed, and you got paid from it, right? What'd you do with the money?
So anyway, if you knew the deal, we started out, I reduced my commission like quicker than I should have. So I think I took the listing at 4.5%. Here buyers agents get 2%. So I was left with 2.5%. Then the deal starts falling apart and I reduce my commission to save it. Now I'm walking away with 2%, before tax, of course. So I maybe made $2,400 after tax. What did I spend that on?
Let me just say that was more than I made on my first deal.
Really?
So, yes.
I felt like I got robbed. I was like, oh my goodness, if this is what real estate's like, what did I get myself into? I don't remember what I spent it on. which is bad, huh?
I mean, did you go like balling out of control, or did you reinvest it in your business?
I reinvested it. I know for sure that I reinvested it into like prospecting. I'm pretty sure like I bought a course or something, which really helped. Um, Stuff like that. I wasn't like partying or anything, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So while we're on these first few months in the business, and you're getting your feet wet slash hitting the ground running, which I hear that term from so many people all the time. I'm just ready to hit the ground running, hit the ground running. I get it. I get it. But what did your day consist of? What was that daily routine for you as
Like
a,
those
a brand new agent?
Okay. So like those first couple months, I was still at like a local brokerage. So I would go to the office. I'd usually get in there right around 7:30, I think. Get in there, I start prospecting right around 8 o'clock. It's calling expireds first. Then I'd call FISBOs. Then I'd end the day with something like circle prospecting, like absentee owners or something. Um, Around lunchtime, I'd go take some lunch. And then after that, it's admin work and getting prep for appointments if I had them. If not, then I was working on YouTube. Pretty much if I can just get my prospecting done, like before noon, then the rest of the day is either appointments or, whatever else. Yeah.
Did you ever get that feeling of not having anything to do?
I don't think so. I think I always found something to keep myself busy. So I was going on like a lot of preview appointments with for sale by owners. So like I always had an appointment. Or if I wasn't having an appointment, then I would like do YouTube or something. So I was always doing something. I tried not to make myself do too much admin work. There's really not that much admin work to do when you're new. Try and like fill up the space, make like a Facebook page or website or something. I tried to fill my free time, with stuff like YouTube. If I wasn't doing that, probably more prospecting or just going on appointments.
Yeah. And I like that you said that, about pretty much finding those activities that you can always do, you can always pick up with. There's so much of it available out there. And it sounds like yours were YouTube, prospecting, going out on those preview appointments. It's almost like if you're working a job, right? You know how job gives you busy work.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
it's that stuff that if you're done with everything, you can still do this, and it can keep you busy and pass the time. That's essentially what you did for your real estate business, which I applaud you for, because I talked to so many people and they're like, I just don't know what to do. I don't have anything to do. And I did that. And I'm sitting here like, there's always something to do. What do you mean? What do you mean? And I want to go back right quick to previewing properties. So you
Yeah.
mentioned previewing properties. For those who may not know what that means or what he's talking about, and you can correct me if I'm wrong about your situation, but typically with for sale by owners, there's a script that gets used, and it's like, hey, I want to come and preview the property, see if it's a right fit for one of my clients, see if it's something that someone I know may want. I don't know if I can sell it yet, but I want to come and preview it. Was that along the lines of what you would say to them?
Yeah, kind of. I don't like to like, bait and switch, make them think I have a buyer if I don't. I'd probably
Mm-hmm.
say something more along the lines of like, hey, I'm going to be in your area tomorrow afternoon. Could I stop by 15, 20 minutes, take a look at the home? And then if I can, I'd try and set on the premise that, and then if it makes sense, we can walk through a plan to help you get it sold. But either way, I just want to come and take a look at it. And they're like, yeah, come on over.
Nice, nice. That easy, huh? Nah.
That is.
So YouTube, right? What made you wanna hop on YouTube and start making videos?
So I don't want to like be a real estate agent forever, which maybe sounds kind of bad to say, but at some point, maybe like 5, 10 years down the road, I want to start, doing some other things, like more real estate investing. So if I could get my hands on my first property next year, some kind of flip or something, that'd be fantastic. So I wanted to start the YouTube channel from day one to kind of not only like document where I'm going with my real estate journey, but also kind of make it another, I don't want to say like exit strategy, but something else I could do if I wanted to, you know, eventually make YouTube some other kind of career. So, now that I'm getting on TikTok and talking about finance on there, I'm going to bring more finance content to the channel, because in the future I want to do more content about real estate investing and finance, you know.
Yeah. How's TikTok been for you?
It's been okay. I was supposed to get on TikTok like a year ago. My friends were like, Josh, you got to get on TikTok. You got to get on it. I'm like, no, no. So I got on about 2 weeks ago, and we're growing super quick. Just talking about finance. We're now at 32,000 followers, I think, something like that. 2 weeks, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So finance, why finance?
I just like talking about it. I feel like the audience for real estate agent stuff on TikTok maybe is pretty small. So like, you know what, let me just teach people my age about finance. It's like nothing crazy, just like, talking about saving money, investing, just stuff to, kind of keep people on the right track, because that kind of stuff isn't taught in school.
Yeah, I mean, you're leading from a place of value and providing value to an audience, which is essentially what I do as well. It's what we do for our clients. We provide value, and that's where the eyes start looking, the money starts being made. And I think it's a phenomenal strategy, especially if you turn it into a business and treat it like a business,
Oh yeah.
like there needs to be more of us out there sharing content like that.
Yeah. That was kind of my thought process too. And with all like the social media stuff that I do, I've always kind of approached it as treating it like a business.
Mhm.
We're we're self-employed, but trying to set deadlines, for myself, and know that if I really do put it in the work, this could become its own full-time business. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you, I mean, if we were to look back into the past, would you have started this sooner? Started the YouTube, started the TikTok, all that stuff sooner?
I think I started YouTube the soonest I could. I put out my first video maybe like a week after I was licensed or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that was soon.
Yeah. But TikTok, I would have started it as soon as I got licensed. Because if I can get 30,000 followers in 2 weeks, in 1 year, I would have just like, it would have been life changing. Some of my friends have grown on TikTok relatively quick, and the revenue they can make from sponsorships alone makes it not even worth it to sell real estate. So that's kind of something maybe I wish I would have done, when I first started, is get on it. But then again, I kind of have a problem with doing too many things at once. So I think everything happens for a reason. So I think just sticking with real estate and YouTube at first was good. Now that I can manage a few more things, now is the right time to add it in.
Let's go deeper, man.
Yeah.
Let's go deeper, especially on this TikTok thing, right? 30,000 2 weeks. Is there a strategy that you feel like you implemented? Is there a certain way of doing it? Like, tell me the Instagram algorithm, everybody, like how does one grow like that?
I don't know nothing about Instagram, right? TikTok.
I mean TikTok, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, TikTok, dude, YouTube can be complicated, right? I mean, you know that, but TikTok is so easy. All you have to do is just post consistently multiple times a day. Like YouTube, maybe you post a couple times a week. TikTok posts like 2 to 5 times a day, which sounds like a lot, but it's really pretty doable. You can bang out a TikTok in like 20 minutes. Um, you just post consistently. And then what I do is go to like other bigger creators in the finance space that have been on TikTok for a while, scroll down to their videos when they first started, and then see the ones that they made when they first started that kind of broke out for them. They got over 100,000 views, and then just recreate those, and that's been working. Then eventually, once I've got a bigger audience, I can start putting in some more original content. But that's really all there is to it. There's not a bunch like algorithms in TikTok you have to understand. Anybody can go viral. You'd literally just have to be consistent.
What
Yeah.
about like the descriptions and the hashtags? Do you do anything special there?
I try and keep hashtags really simple too. So I'll maybe have like 5 to 8 of them, keep some of them narrow. If I was doing a video about real estate, I might have uh, real estate agent, which is kind of more narrow than like realtor, for example. That's not really a very good example, but if I was doing a money related video, I might do finance as a broad hashtag, and then maybe like money tips for teens, as a more narrow one. Um, that's kind of the strategy with hashtags that I've been taking. And then yeah, again, just staying consistent. the content where you give the most value is what gets followers rather than the ones where you like just hop on a trend, but where you like teach people things and they actually like get tangible value. That's ones that, actually generates followers.
So with that being what's kind of blowing up for you right now, do you think that you're going to make that more so a part of your business plan, lead generation strategy moving forward in 2022?
I don't know about lead generation, but I am going to make it a bigger part of my overall work, I guess. Now, recently I've been time blocking a whole lot so I can fit everything in. So it's like in the mornings, I'll do TikTok, then I'll do my prospecting, then I'll work on YouTube, then I'll go on appointments. So I'm just trying to incorporate all of it together. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question come in the chat box, and it's related to this. Would you say that social media has helped you be successful in real estate?
Maybe like indirectly. So I've maybe got 2 referrals off of social media. None of them have really gone anywhere, but I'd say that it's helped in being more confident in myself and putting myself out there, which has been super influential on like listing appointments and stuff like that. I'm a lot more confident because I sit in a room and just talk to a camera all day. But it just makes you more comfortable with yourself.
Yeah. Have you integrated that into your like listing presentation, for instance? Like, do you tell clients, hey, I'm on YouTube, I have a TikTok. Do you use that to your advantage?
Sometimes I do. It really depends on the client. If I can tell that they really care about marketing, stuff like that, then I will. Usually I try not to get into marketing too much because especially with for sale by owners, I can be a little bit picky and I don't want them to choose another realtor over me just because they have like one more point on their marketing plan.
Mhm.
But if I can sense that it's somebody that cares a lot about marketing, then yeah, that's definitely something that I use to my advantage. Like, hey, I've got 15,000 agents across the country, ready to see your listing.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the business plan for 2022? What are you going to do?
2022 is going to be very busy, I think. With everything that I've started this year, I think I set myself up pretty good for 2022. So real estate, I'm going to try and delegate some things, from like YouTube and stuff so I can focus more on the real estate. YouTube is becoming busy. So if I can delegate, maybe hire an editor or something, and then really focus on real estate, growing my team, or I guess broke my organization at EXP, just growing that as well. And then focusing on, YouTube and TikTok, but trying to delegate some more of those tasks just so I have maybe a little bit more free time. I'd like to have a social life as well, but it's going to be pretty much the same thing, that I'm doing right now, just more consistent and at a larger scale. I'd like to do more higher production YouTube videos next year if I could. Do some kind of real estate investing thing and document that. If that's a rental or a flip or an Airbnb, that's definitely on the plan for next year.
Man, you're such a great person to be connected to. I mean, just ambitious like that, and putting yourself out there and having goals, at the end of the day, having goals, no matter how small they may seem to some people, their goals. And I'm always about hitting those goals. Like I set pretty big goals, but I set goals that I know that I can hit, if I just focus, stay tuned in, all of that good stuff. I have a lot of newer agents who watch my channel, right? I have a lot of people who are thinking about getting into real estate or who are newly licensed. You've been in the business a year. What is some advice you can give somebody just for that first year? Just to go from where you started to where you are right now. What are some lessons that you've learned, advice that you can share, however much you want to give?
For me, and this is just from like personal experience, it's going to be staying consistent with whatever you do. If you're door knocking or cold calling, social media, mailers, whatever it is, it all works. But just staying consistent. Like my first 2 months, for example, I was so consistent with cold calling. I didn't miss a single day. Then I started to kind of get into a slump. And as soon as I got back out of that slump, I got my first listing, literally like a couple days after. If I hadn't been in that slump, imagine how many more listings I could have got. And then there's times where I've tried to do too much then get burnt out, and then I'm inconsistent for a long time after that. So just finding something that you know you can do long term, and then setting like realistic expectations for yourself. Like starting off, you can't make 100 contacts a day. You know, you're just going to get burnt out, and then you're never going to want to make calls again. You know, but if you stick to 15 or 20, you know, and you can do that for an entire year, you'll be at a pretty good spot, I think. Um, you know, so that's the biggest thing, just staying consistent with whatever you're doing, you know, and figure out a way that works for you, that you don't get too burnt out, but that you're also, you know, doing enough work.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. That's solid advice. Um, Here, I got another question coming in. Let me read it right quick. Um, so I guess somebody wants to hear another perspective besides mine, but they're asking, what would you recommend choosing as your first brokerage, essentially? Um, they saying that they don't want to join KW.
Okay.
They're thinking Better Homes and Gardens or Realty One Group, or how did you come about choosing a brokerage?
That's a good question. And I don't know too much about KW or Better Homes or Realty One. I think the biggest thing in choosing a brokerage is figuring out what's most important to you. And I think for most agents, it's training. So when I was looking around for brokerage, I maybe interviewed three or four. And the biggest thing to me was that I didn't have a whole lot of money to spend. So if they can give me great training and support, but, you know, also not take too many fees monthly, then that's kind of what I was looking for. So I think identifying what's most important to you is going to be the biggest starting point. So I chose my first brokerage. They were a local brokerage here in town called Nebraska Realty. They didn't charge any fees. The support was amazing. There was always somebody there to help me. They had great training. I can go and shadow people whenever I wanted. It was just awesome, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's solid advice. Thank you, man. So we're gonna wrap it up here, but before we do, I want to take this opportunity for you to tell everybody where they can find you, your social stuff. You're a pretty solid guy.
Thank you. You can find me on YouTube. That's just my first name, Joshua Erabu. You know, first and last, same on Instagram as well, same on TikTok, same everywhere. I've got a YouTube course that I put out late November, I think, or early November, something like that, teaching you how to get your first 10,000 on YouTube. Um, that's it, really.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you for being here, Joshua. I definitely enjoyed this again. And, I'm sure we can do some stuff in the future. You definitely dropped some value, and I hope that it helps somebody out there watching this. Sometimes people can take things so surface, but if you really think about some of the stuff that he was saying, it can be career changing, if you apply it, especially that consistency. Like, that's the biggest thing, because there were so many times I wanted to give up, man, like so many, but
Yeah.
just staying consistent, knowing that one day it's gonna hit. It's like those people who played a lotto for like 30 years and then they finally hit, and it's like
Yeah.
that's so
I know what you
consistent.
mean.
You
Yeah.
did that. But cool, man. Thanks again, and let's stay in touch. And y'all go check out his YouTube channel, and definitely his TikTok that he's blowing up on. All right.
All
See
right.
you.